Hiya VC, back again. Yes, it's time for Gimme 10 1989. Only 50 records from 89, so I'm sure you'll be glad to hear. So there's only 5 videos to wade through. So with that out of the way, here's my absolute top 10. Well, these are the 10 I selected now as my main picks, but on a different day, definitely anything from the second video could have made it into the 10. It was really difficult to choose again. So many records that I love from the late 80s, and it's just impossible to sort them out. Anyway, so with that out of the way, here we go. Now, the first one is a live mini album, and I've included this because I was actually there at the recording of this, and I think I've gone through this story before on one video or other, but I think it was a competition entry and not many people saw it. So, first album, The Hypnotics, Liber Than God. Around 88, 89, probably 89, 90 actually, I used to go and see The Hypnotics whenever they came to London. I think I totted up, I used to see them about once a month for about a year before I went to uni. Didn't seem to venture up to Liverpool that much, so I didn't see them. Or if they did, I was too drunk. So I was there the night they recorded this. I don't think you can hear my voice, although I did my best to shout at the top of my voice during between songs. It's a 5-track live album. It's got their then single Justice in Freedom, an 11-minute, nearly 12-minute version of that, which is absolutely brilliant. It's got a 9-minute version of Revolution Stone, which is such a gem. I think it sounds like it was based on a Hendrix tune. Let's Get Naked, All Night Long, and the other track is Rock Me Baby, which was a cover by B.B. King. They really did take the spirit of the MC5 and the Stooges and relocate it to London in the late 80s. Lead singer was Jim Jones, who has now, well, he's just split them up, or fairly recently split up his latest band, the Jim Jones Review, I think they call it, aren't they? But he's been in a succession of bands since The Hypnotics. But I just absolutely love this. Released on Situation 2 in 89. This was reissued, well, partially reissued on Sub Pop, which I also have. I think in 1990. It took probably 3 or 4 of the live tracks and then put on one side, and then put some singles tracks on the other side, which are just fabulous. That's a great record as well, but this is the one. So there we go. The Hypnotics, Liber Than God. Next up, so it's the second album by this band, Primal. This is a real record of two halves. What they've done with this record is half of it's rockers and half of it's kind of more of their mellow jams, and they alternate between the two. So you start off with Ivy, 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 which is an all-out, balls-out rocker, and then follow it up with You're Just Dead Skin to Me. Then you get She Power and You're Just Too Dark to Care, which is another slow. Then comes one of my favourite songs of all time, I'm Losing More Than I'll Ever Have, which I think is just a fantastic song. But it's also better known as the basis that Andrew Weatherall took for Loaded. There's bits of it still left there. But it's just so many good songs. Gimme, Gimme, Teenage Head, Kill the King, Lone Star Girl, You're Just Too Dark to Care is beautiful. It's just a brilliant, brilliant record. And it was unjustly slated at the time. But Weatherall absolutely loved it, and he took the Scream onto just a different level with Screamadelica, which I'm sure I'm going to extend this series, even though Big Star Fred hasn't. I'm going to extend it to 91, I think. I think that's about as far as I can go with vinyl. Yes. For a long time, this next record I thought was the greatest thing that had ever been released, one of the pinnacles of late 20th century civilization. Now I would put Kid A by Radiohead up there alongside it, and I really can't decide which one of the two I prefer, but I'm talking about this one. This, for me, is just everything a record should be. It is just a fantastic record. The way it opens with I Want to Be Adored, just the slow fading, is just the best beginning to a record ever. And then the shift into She Bangs the Drums, Waterfall, the perfect Don't Stop, Bye Bye Bad Man. Then you've got the anti-monarchy rant, Elizabeth My Dear, Song for My Sugar Spun Sister, Made of Stone, which was fantastic, Shoot You Down, This Is the One, and then rounding off with I Am the Resurrection. I mean, just from start to finish, this is a perfect album. And I don't care who disagrees, I think this is perfect in every single way. Definitely one of my favourite albums of '89. Definitely this one, The Real Thing by Faith No More. This was the first album with what's his face? Mike Patton. Of course, it's Mike Patton. I used to go to a lot of rock discos around 89, 90, a lot of them, and you could always guarantee they'd play probably 2 or 3 tracks from this. You'd definitely have From Out of Nowhere, you'd almost definitely have Epic, and you'd probably have Falling to Pieces as well, which are the first 3 tracks on this. Then you've got the almost thrashy Surprise You're Dead, and Zombie Eaters is great. You've got the track The Real Thing, Underwater Love, The Morning After, and Woodpecker from Mars. It is just a fantastic record from start to finish. Absolutely love that record. The next one is one of my favourite albums of all time. Again, yet another one. It's Doolittle by the Pixies. Just fabulous, and it did change the way that indie did change the path that indie took. I was lucky enough to see the Pixies on this tour at the Kentish Town and Country Club, and to this day it is still the best gig I've ever been to. I've never seen somewhere as big as Town and Country Club. I turned around part way through one song just to look at the crowd, and as a person they were just jumping up and down. It was just incredible. Just incredible. It was raw. The songs were amazing. I mean, obviously I played a lot of Surfer Rosa as well, but this is just fantastic record. Debaser, just brilliant. The lyrics taken from Buñuel's surrealist masterpiece that he made with Dali. What else is on here? Gouge Away, There Goes My Gun, Tame, Wave of Mutilation, I Bleed, Here Comes Your Man. I mean, Monkey Gone to Heaven. They just mastered, like, that mix of loud and quiet. Not only across one song, but across different songs. Just the difference in mood for a guitar album, I don't think has been beaten. Although that Primal Scream one runs it a close second. But this is just fantastic. 1989, grunge was swimming up from the murky depths of the Seattle basin, and Soundgarden released this one, Louder Than Love. Brilliant record. This is where they really hit their stride. Even more metal, probably even more Sabbathy than their debut. Just out and out brilliant. You've got Ugly Truth, Hands All Over, Gun, Get on a Snake, Loud Love, Big Dumb Sex. Just a rocking rock record from start to finish, and it's just what rock needed, a right kick up the arse at the tail end of the decade. Although I do have some hair metal bands in this 50 later on, but they're way down compared to a lot of the grunge stuff. Brilliant. Arcane released their magnum opus in 1989 called I. It was actually the pronoun I in quotation marks, not I. This is just one of the most sprawling albums. It's a double. I'm trying to find the track list. Can't remember. But it's got dream pop, it's got noise rock, it's got gorgeous pop. Just an absolute masterpiece. Just fantastic. And I don't think this lot get the attention. They should get the same attention as the Valentines, really. But they don't, which is completely unjust, and they've been completely forgotten, to be honest. But absolutely fantastic. 89, my favourite singer, released another album, and of course I'm going to put this in my Gimme 10. It's Essential World. Just the artwork for this album, I think, is just the most stunning she put together or helped put together for any of her records. Just beautiful artwork, and I used to have an absolutely huge poster of the artwork for the Essential World single on my wall. So this has got the Essential World, which is beautiful, Love and Anger, The Fog, Heads with Dancing, Reaching Out is beautiful, Deeper Understanding, Between a Man and a Woman, Never Be Mine, which just sends shivers up my spine, Rocket's Tale, which was recorded with the trio Bulgarka. Well, let's get the name right. Le Mystère de Voir Bulgarka, or whatever they're called. You know who I mean. Trio Bulgarka. Just beautiful. And then you round it off with this one's work, which is just one of the most heartbreaking songs you can ever hear. So there we go, Essential World. I'm going to include this one in my Gimme 10. Julian Cope, Skevington. I did talk about this in my Julian Cope video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's like Cope's Campfire Tapes, this is. I did go on about it at length in that video, so I won't go on too much, but it's just brilliant. 10 times the record that My Nation Underground is. It's infinitely better. Just Cope going out on a limb and just recording some of the best things he ever did. Brilliant. And then just to round off, I've got to include this. The Cult, Sonic Temple, the cold go balls out stadium rock, but in such a brilliant way. I think this actually cracked the top 5 in America, I think. It's got Iggy on one track, New York City. The singles off here were Sun King, Firewoman was a big one, Edie Chow Baby's on here, Sweet Soul Sister, Automatic Blues. Soldier Blue is one of my favourite tracks off here. Wake Up Time for Freedom. Produced by Bob Rock. It rocks. Big time. So there we go. That's my Gimme 10. That's the main picks from 1989. Absolutely love each and every one of those records. And if you haven't heard them, then I suggest that you jolly well go and find some of them out. Especially Arcane. Yeah, go and find that out. Right, okay, thanks VC. And I shall see you soon with yet another Gimme 10 1989. See you later.